I had been out of the car business for almost a year. Ended up, had a horrific accident. In 2008, the market crashed. The rug was pulled out from underneath us. We lost multiple homes, lost everything, getting separated for almost 8 months. Literally on the verge of divorce. And that is where the light bulb went off and I said, I'm gonna get my real estate license and we're gonna create a team. I lost everything in 2008, and here is why it was the best thing that ever happened. In 2006, I had been out of the car business for almost a year. Ended up, had a horrific accident, and I ended up getting sober in 2006, July 23rd. In 2008, the market crashed. The rug was pulled out from underneath us. We lost multiple homes, lost everything, and ended up having to move out of our 3,000 square foot house into this 2-bedroom condo that my wife and both daughters ended up living in. And you want to talk about like eating humble pie? I thought the world ended because we failed. I failed as being a father and being a husband and being a leader for my family, in complete devastation. It was even so bad that back then they said, oh yeah, you know, they're not gonna come after you for the second mortgage. It's just all, you know, it'll just wash away. We ended up getting sued multiple times, going through the whole court thing and all that because they were coming after us. Like, it did not stop. And here I had been sober for a couple of years and I'm thinking, is this what sobriety life is all about? Like this horrific stuff. My wife was in real estate at the time and she was working a lot and we weren't being the best husband and wife scenario. We weren't communicating, so our marriage started to fall apart and we ended up getting separated for almost 8 months. Literally on the verge of divorce. I ended up getting really sick with pneumonia. Like, I don't know, it was like I had 104, 105 temperature, super sick, and I didn't know who to call. I was kind of bedridden. I didn't have enough energy to go to the doctor and I was just trying to white knuckle this thing and I ended up calling Kim and she came over and helped me get healthier, took me to the doctor and I started to think like, why would we go our separate ways? If this person in such a crazy point in our marriage, we're about to get divorced, but she's still gonna help me? We got back together. Literally 2 weeks after we got back together, the final divorce paperwork came and we decided we ripped it up. So not only did that happen, my mom passed away of pancreatic cancer, horrific, put a lot of strain on the family. It was just a really dark time. And again, all this stuff is happening as I'm sober. I'm like, is this the prize that I get for being sober, all this crazy stuff? And you know, again, life goes on. And so Dave's trying to reevaluate himself and figure things out. I even jumped back in the car business for a hot second because we were financially kind of around 2013, 14, we were kind of in a financial pinch and we ended up deciding, okay, it's probably best for me to go back in the car business for a hot second and make some money to make ends meet and whatnot. And that is where the light bulb went off and I said, I'm gonna get my real estate license and we're gonna create a team. And that's where the inception of the Panozzo team was born. And April 1st of 2016, I signed up for a real estate class and the rest is history. So it's been a very fascinating journey. Now looking back on my timeline, you know, we all have this storyline, this timeline of life. And it's like, oh, there's this little point back here on the storyline. But when I was in it, it was just so full of like chaos and craziness. But now it's this small little piece of time on this timeline that I can look back and reflect and know exactly like where I was at mentally or how I physically looked, because my physical health, you know, suffered back in those days. I was out of shape and didn't really care about myself. And so I've gone through this whole revision of who Dave Panozzo is and what I'm all about. And so now, you know, some of those things that I went through have really made me a stronger person, a better father, a better husband, and now, you know, I'm a grandfather. So I have to be the leader of the family, and now I have to teach my grandchildren on what it's like to be a husband, a father, and a grandfather. So it's really cool to be able to reflect back on some really crappy stuff that happened, but use that as power and fuel to even go farther in life. Because again, you know, I'm 57 years old. Like, I keep learning, I keep reinventing myself to be a better version. And I think that that's where people get hung up nowadays is, you know, they try something, it doesn't work, and so they quit. Like, I've gotten so beat up over the years that a lot of people are like, you're crazy. And now we're, you know, on another journey, and it's kind of fun because now we're even turning more heads and making people really question like what we're doing. And again, this is all for the greater good. This is our journey. This is my journey, not theirs. And I think sometimes people can't relate to what you're going through because it's something that they can't do themselves. So they just kind of put it to the wayside. And so again, regardless of your age, who you are, or what you've been through, I'm a testament that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Well, and also too, like literally, dude, it's kind of exciting. I just got my first organic lead off of YouTube. A dog trainer in Seattle ended up texting me, free call. We got on a little exploratory call and ended up picking him up for a 3-month training package. So during my videos, what happens is at the halfway point, they'll throw a video interrupter, and that's, well, I'll throw out a call to action. In this case, we can just I'll do a call to action at the end. But what I'd like to do is do a couple different call to actions or video interrupters that you guys can just use generically. If you're going through something like what I went through, maybe not as severe, or maybe you're just going through some stuff. It's all up in the head, okay? We all have it. It's swimming around our head. Sometimes we have to get it out of our head and on paper. You've heard the saying, power to the pen, right? Go to like Staples or one of these stores, go buy one of those big 3M Post-it boards, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're literally just gonna puke everything that's in your head and put it on paper so you can put it on the wall and look at it. Now, once you start looking at it, now you can start pulling from it like the pros and the cons. And on another sheet, you're gonna put the pros and cons list. Because sometimes you can self-select or self-figure it out, or other times you may need to get someone else involved, whether it be a coach or a mentor or a family member that is doing much better than you. Don't ask family members for advice that aren't doing better than you. But this way you can see it on paper and start to visualize it, because sometimes the smallest little thing will appear and you'll be like, oh my God, that's it. That's the problem that I'm having. Now, it sounds really simple, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it's a little more difficult. That's why, again, whether it be a coach or a mentor or someone that has influence in your life, it could be a pastor, it could be a number of people, they will be able to help guide you through some of these things. And again, if this is something that you're really serious, now take in mind, you have to be serious. Like, if you really want self-change, it starts with you. And if you want to start with you, then DM below in the comments, free call. I'll be more than glad to reach out to you. We'll jump on a call for 15 minutes. Keep it simple. Maybe there's something I could help you right on the spot. Think about how you would feel if we figured out what was going on, that it could flip your life around to get you to that next level. Let's do it, right? If I don't know the answer, guess what? I have an amazing network of people. I'll connect you with the right person. But remember, it starts with you.